So welcome to the session on leadership skills, advanced vocab, and self-mastery. So in this particular session, we'll learn the advanced vocab, like what are the smart ways and what are the advanced vocabs that we're gonna learn. Apart from that, the leadership skills and how are the great leaders like Sundar Pichai and Satya Nadella and the other CEOs, including the Subhash Chandra Bose, who are the freedom fighters, how they have brought the things and how they become the leaders, what are the actual qualities, and self-mastery is nothing but the great books that the great people they read. So let's start with our session. Let me show you the advanced vocab. In this thing, like as you can see, there is a word called delude, which means to deceive, and deceive means to cheat. So most of the time, like people, what they do, they just learn by just going through the word and the meaning. But that's the wrong way of going through. And slow and steadily, I'll let you know. Just let's have a look at the 2 or 3 words. So delude, it means to deceive. Deceive means to cheat. And as you can see the sentence of this, the man deluded us into thinking that he would make us rich, but instead he tricked us. It means he cheated us. In the same way, we have the next word, that is hapless, which means unlucky. So instead of saying unlucky, even you can say like he is an hapless person. So as you could see, the sentence, Peter's hapless search for fun led him from one disappointment to other. As he was keep on searching for the happiness, but instead of getting happiness, he just got the disappointment. So here, there are many advanced vocabs like casual and rogue and many other things. But how we can learn and in an easier way. So in this particular session, I'm gonna tell you how we can. Just a second. So how we can, please mute yourself everyone. So how we can proceed with the things, like what are the smart ways we can learn? So first way is that you have to understand the word. For example, if the word is dearth, okay? So dearth, which means lack or scarcity. So most of the time what we do, we just learn or by heart the meaning, and after that we just forget the things. And obviously it will happen. So how we can do the things are that so dearth, which means lack. In case, let's say, if you know what is the meaning of lack, okay? In that case, you may or may not understand. But let's say if I say dearth, if I use it in a sentence like there is a dearth of water in hilly areas. So obviously in hilly areas we can't find water. So just with the context and the meaning, you can remember the things. Even if you find difficulty in understanding this, so I'll let you know the next way as well. So first way is to try to understand the word and its meaning to an extent. So dearth, which means lack or scarcity, even though if you don't get, then you can go through the sentence. Like there is a dearth of water in the hilly areas, or there is a dearth of food in the poor peoples, or there is a dearth of money, and due to that, we are leading to the poverty. So there are many examples that you can proceed with it. Now there is a sentence that there is a word for you, which means self-rule, and the word is autonomy. So it is you who have to just note down, so that please mute yourself as I told you. So autonomy, you just have to find the things. So autonomy, which means self-rule, and you just try to find out whether what can be the possible sentence for that. Okay. So next we are heading towards the second sentence. second trick, that is visualization. Now let me tell you what is this visualization. Most of the time, like what we do, we just search the word, but just by going through the meaning, we just try to by heart like anything. But the second method is obviously by visualizing. It's like, let's say, if you search the word in Google, so there used to be many tabs, many templates that you could see. So first is the all, then the second one immediately you will find the images. So let's say if you have searched for the word dirt, so just go to the images section and you will find like similar picture. And you know why I'm asking you to go through the pictures? Because we could remember and we could visualize the things very easily instead of like just going with the meaning. So if you could see this picture, so easily you can remember, okay, what is the meaning of dirt? As you can see, there is no water at all. And due to that, you could remember it forever. It's similar to the desert, and in desert we don't find water, even no trees. It means there is a scarcity of something, and what is that? It's nothing but water. This is the second way of going through the like learning the advanced vocab. Now we'll see the next method, that is meaning and the root word. See, as I'm asking you, please mute yourself. Even like you're proceeding with the same. So the only way, like from where we get the sound, you might be removed. Okay, sorry for that. Yeah, so let's continue. It's meaning and the root word. Okay. So meaning and the root word, because this session being recorded, and those who can't attend, like they can even listen after that. Okay. So please try to maintain the silence. And at last, if you have any queries, please note down. And at last, you can ask me. Okay. Yes. So let's proceed with the things. It's meaning and the root word. What is this root word? Like most of you might have heard or may not have heard. So let me tell you how this particular way, the third step will help you. Let's say if there is a word called egoist. So you may or may not be aware of what is egoist. Let me bifurcate the word. There is a word called ego, and I hope you might be aware of, as we say, like, don't hurt my ego. But the meaning of ego is I. It means I, and I'm just adding ist, this word, to I. Thus, it means like someone who is so possessive, like who always thinks about himself, like, okay, what if I'll get, what I'll get if I could go through the things, like what if I'll help him, and in this way, like many more things. So, egoist is the word which formed from ego plus ist. Like as we say, physicist, scientist. So those who are expert in that, but egoist is someone who is expert in like selfish. As you could see the meaning, one who always thinks about self-advancement, like only about himself. Okay, if I'll talk to him, what I get. If I'll help him, what is there for me. So one who always thinks. And on the similar note, like we have other words, let me show you. Egoist, on the same root word. Egoist, egotist, egocentric, egomaniac, alter ego. So let's try to understand like what are these words and how the root word can help us. So egoist, which means I plus someone, expert as we have seen. But there is something called egotist, in which we have added the so-called T, and just with the change in the T, the whole thing gonna change. Let's try to understand what is. So ego is already we are aware of, like it's I, but taste is someone who always like praises or admires about his achievement. Even though, let's say, if he got any prize in the class, even though no one boasted him, but he just comes home and he just tells his friend that, I have achieved something great, even similar to a Nobel Prize or something like that. But he always, like, his attitude gonna be like, let me write here. He always boasts himself, like he always praises. He talks about, like, okay, that I have done something, I have achieved, and I have achieved great things, even though if he has not achieved. Okay. So egotist is someone who always talks about his achievements, even though in case if he has not done. Next comes the egocentric. If we divide the word, let's say this, ego plus center. Okay. So I plus, like, center is nothing but the middle. I mean, the epic center of the thing. So one who always thinks that, okay, I am the center of this universe. It's like everyone is working for me. Like I am the boss. Like those who have that particular mentality. So in all the three words, as of now, whatever we have seen, you could see it always goes with I and then followed by something added to that. So ego plus centric. Okay. So one who always thinks that I am the boss and everyone is working for me. Uh, even I am going to be the dictator or something like which gonna be the negative things. Next is egomaniac. I hope you might have heard this particular word called mania. Earlier, like Maggie, which is a brand, the noodles as we eat, uh, it just used to go with an advertisement called like mania, like noodles mania. And mania is nothing but, it means mad. So one who is mad about himself. So the actual meaning, what we'll get is one who is mad. And such people, like what they do, they just think that, okay, even if they say the sun rises in the west, you have to agree with that. Because if you'll say no, then they will just keep on hesitating you. They will keep on, they used to be so stubborn that, okay, and even they will make you to agree with that particular point. So those people are mad about their point and you have to just agree upon that. So such people, they come under egomania. So as of now, we have seen four words and all the four words, they lead to the negative. But there is something, even it exists, which leads to the positivity. That is alter ego. So alter ego is nothing but, I hope you might have heard this word, alternative. It means something like any other option. As we say, like I have an alternative. In the same way, this alter word came from the same word called alter, which means, let me write here, which means other. And ego is obviously I. Okay. So one who has the similar qualities like me, like one who is similar to me, not in appearance, but in terms of qualities. And as we say, like if I say he is my alter ego, it means he is like my best friend or someone who has the similar qualities, someone who wakes up, who studies, like whatever the things they do equally. And for that, we use alter ego. So in this way, like even whenever you go through the words like biologist, physicist, so in every word you could find some root words, and root words gonna help you more and more in order to understand it. After that, the next step through which you can improve your vocab is like pronunciation, and the study comes under the phonics. So even you can improve your pronunciation with the help of Google, or even you can ask me during the class, or even there is a very good dictionary called Merriam Webster, as I used to keep on suggesting in each and every class. Like Merriam Webster is a dictionary which even this person has taken around 35 years to compile this particular dictionary. And the good quality, the good thing about this particular dictionary is even like you could find the history about that. Even if there is a word called dearth, as we were studying. So if there is any history, like how that word came into an existence, so even those things you can find. Okay. So let's try to learn like how pronunciation can help us. So there is a word called, if you could try, so it would be a bit difficult. So how you can try the pronunciation of this word is by using the syllable, like floxy-noxy-nihilipilification. But if you try to read it at once, then you may get stuck. So we can spell it as floxy-noxy-nihilipilification. And the meaning, as usual, I'll let you know, it means worthless. So in case like if any of your friend like who says it's not useful, it's waste or it's worthless, so you can say that it is nothing but like it's floxy-noxy-nihilipilification. So even they will not feel bad because they are not aware of the word what you are saying. In the same way, incomprehensibility is like kind of difficulty to understand. After that, most of the time, even people, what they do, they write the wrong spelling, and due to that, others they face the problem in understanding the word. Let's say there is a word called, and again, the sources from where you can take the right spelling is Google, or even you can take in the class, or even the Merriam Webster can help you out. So it is like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. In case like if I ask you to write, you may or may not be able to. That's the other thing. But if you can write the right spelling, then obviously you can pronounce the right word. And if you can pronounce the right word, so obviously like you'll get name and fame, and obviously the respect it will proceed. Like you'll get more respect if you proceed in the right accent with the right pronunciation. Next comes, okay, like, yeah, let's not get into the parts of speech because most of you may or may not like the grammar to an extent. Let's skip this. And yeah, this is quite important. Most of the people, they say like, I'm improving my vocab. But how you can improve your vocab is, let's say if you're learning some particular word called, let's say egoist, what we have learned. So in case if you don't know what is egocentric, but you might be aware of selfish. So just learn from the known to unknown. Like, okay, selfish is a word which you already know. So with that, you can learn egoist. And egoist is similar to selfish. So from unknown to known. Let's say there is one more word, like in the same way, you can go with the other words. I'm just giving an example here. Jump. Okay. So jump is a word, and you might be aware of jump, but if you don't know how, so just you can go with like from unknown, sorry, known to unknown. Like jump is a word, and hop is similar to that, like hopping, even leap and spring. So just learn one word per day. I mean the synonym from known to unknown, and that will help you out. Next, antonym. Antonym is nothing but the opposite. And how antonym can help you out? Let me take it. Let's say the word again, egoist, and egoist is a negative word. So antonym is nothing but opposite, and even in the other way, you can understand that from negative to positive. Okay. So egoist is a negative word. So what will be the positive for that? It's altruist. Egoist is someone who always thinks about himself, like being selfish. Okay, let me write here the word. Whereas altruist is a word like which is used for those who help to others, like helps, like alter. It came from the root word called alter plus est, and one who is expert in helping others. So altruist is a person who always thinks like who always has the helping nature. Okay. So in this way, even you can improve your vocab just by going through the negative and the positive. So far, like as we have seen 8, now the 9th one is obviously, I hope you may or may not like this. And even like most of you may not have the habit of reading newspapers. So no worries, even you have the alternate for that. For example, if you like sports, Okay, so even you can go through that particular thing, like yeah, so even you can go through the sports if you are interested to cricket, if you are interested about cooking. So even you can go through the cooking magazines. If you are aware, like if you are interested to learn about the biography, so you can. But try to read only in the English, not in other languages, because if you learn in the English, then it will help you to improve your vocab as well. And last one is the revision, which is very, very important. Even though if you're gonna follow all the rules, but if you don't go through the revision, I mean, if you don't revise the things, then the things will not work for you. Okay. Now, let me show you like few words which are based on the rules. So the first word is Volvo. You might have heard about the, but actually not like that. Volvo, it means to roll, and the words which are based on that are like revolve. As you might be aware of, like the earth revolves around the sun. So this re is, it means again. It is made of two words. Re plus Volvo. Re plus Volvo. It means to roll again and again. In the same way, revolution. It's like celestial bodies. I mean, the very giant bodies like Earth and Pluto and Neptune and other things. Revolutionary, again, it is related to the same. Next, involve, like getting into. So it's not you're going to roll, but you're just getting into the thing. Next, we have evolve. Evolve is like to roll out. It is made of two words, that is X. I mean, exit as we use. So X plus volve, it means coming out. Like he just, in case of lavas, like as they evolve out of, and involve is like to get in the same way, like you can find many more words like magnanimous. On the same root word, we could see magnanimous, magnet, magnify, magnificent, magnitude, magnum opus. So like in this way, like even if you would like to have, so you can take the material of all these root words in which you can find all these things. So I'll provide you in case if you require. Next, let's get started with the things. That is the longest words in English. So we'll not get into that action because even we have to cover the other things. So I'll just show you the longest words. The first longest word is like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and in general we don't use, but only for your like knowledge purpose. In case if you would like to proceed with the tongue twisters, then you can. So supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, which means wonderful. Okay. Next, we have the other word is pseudo hypoparathyroidism, which is related to infection. I mean the disease which just gets due to calcium and phosphorus, as you could see. Yeah, oxynichilification, as we have discussed in the previous slides, which means worthless. Then we have pneumono ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis, and it is mainly like those who like the laborers, those who work in the lead organizations, like the small particles, they just infect them, and it just gets into their blood even, and they even face the problems of inhalation, and sometimes a fatal death may even happen. So that particular process and the disease, it relates to this. Next is hippopotamonstrosiscopedaliophobia, and as you can see, the last word is phobia. It means something related to fear and fear of long words. So those who have the fear of long words, for them you can use this particular word. Next we have anti-disestablishmentarianism. So I have just divided into syllables, but actually it is one word. And it means to de-establish. As we say that he has established a school, but in order to say that he has disestablished, it means he has like removed. So then you can. Next is honorific ability to Dani categories, and it is related to the honors. Next we have thyroparathyroid ectomized, and which is related to thyroid, whereas near to our neck we used to have, and those particular glands. Next we have dichlorofluoromethane. And the last one is incomprehensibilities. Okay, so this is all about the advanced vocab, and as we have discussed, like how we can improve our vocab, the skills we have seen, and after that we have seen more about like the long words. Here, like okay, we are just left with 10 minutes, so after this, like if possible, you may get the next link, or else on next Sunday we'll discuss. So let's proceed with the leadership skills. But what actually leadership skills? As most of the those who are working in organizations, they might be aware of like what actually and to what extent it is important. Mainly those who are working on positions called managers or the CEOs or the senior managers as well. So for them, now let me show you a glimpse of some CEOs and leaders. In the first picture, you can see he is Subhash Chandra Bose, and he was one of the great freedom fighter and a great leader, and even he has created the revolution. So what are those particular qualities? And in the second picture, you could see Sundar Pichai, the present CEO of Google and Alphabet as well. And in third, it's Satya Nadella, who is the CEO of Microsoft. So what are the things about them? Now let me show you their leadership qualities. So first of all, like in case if you'll go through, if you'll do the case study on them, even I have done, and I came with the individual qualities. And first, like what he gives the preference is that he gives the preference to the humanity. Humanity is nothing but working for the human being and for their goodness. It's not that like to cheat the people and to get the things. So that is one of the important like skill that a leader should possess. Next, like relationships. Most of the people, they just lack in this. And they used to have argument with everyone, but a good leader, he can maintain the relationship with each and every employee. And that is one of the important skills. Next, collaborative. Collaborative is nothing but working together with a collaboration. Collaboration. Or even you can say together. Like you always think that we are not working individually, we are working in a team. Next, deal maker. How this deal maker? Deal maker is nothing but, let's say if you are working as a CEO, so sometimes like you have to expand your organization, and in order to expand, sometimes even you have to like take other organization into. I mean, you have to merge other organization into yours. So for that, like you just have to be a better deal maker. Like you have to have very good convincing skill rather than like just orating, and at the same time like you have to have very logical points, so that like even you can convince them and you can make a better deal. And mastery is nothing but like having the good knowledge about the books, like not mastery is related to something the cunning things. It's moreover like kind of diplomatic. Okay. And then the transformation. The transformation is not transforming yourself, it's transforming your organization. It's like the transition from one place to the next, like next step we have to just transform. And the last, it's nothing but visionary. Visionary is nothing but you have to have a vision. If you are a leader, you have to have that okay, after 5 years where I could see my organization, and at the same time you have to show the same vision to your employees as well. And if those who can do this, they are the actual leaders. Next, the communicator. So you have to have a better communication skills, and obviously that gonna play a very crucial role. In the same way, in case of Satya Nadella, you could see, and he always says that think big. And like each and every leader in this, as you could see, they have the different skills, but one common skill among everyone is that if you could observe caring for people, and it's nothing but humanity. So they go with this. Because why I am emphasizing on this particular thing is, if you don't understand and if you just work for the money, then you are not the right leader. You just work for the humanity. If you'll work for the humanity, then you will get the success. And that is the actual leadership skill, as we could say. Even though you can have a very good logical thinking and everything, even in case of splashing goals, you could see uh, like safety issues. So moreover, like in all the three, the common thing is that they work for the humanity, and later on the other things. Even Ratan Tata and many more. And the second thing is that they used to have a good vision. I mean, vision is the sense like not the night vision or the day vision. It's like what's your ultimate goal and how you are going to achieve it. When see humility, and particularly like all the leaders they have worked only for one thing, that is humanity. Okay, so in the slides, like if you want, like I could share with you, and all the things like the deal with the same. Next, always like you have to let me show you who are true leaders. Okay. True leaders are like the community builders, and community builders are nothing but those who are working for humanity. Obviously, they can build up very good connections, and they have to show that okay, we all are working for the same purpose. And mainly, you should not ask your employees that okay, you just work for me. Even you have to think about their families as well. Actually, the true leader thinks about their families and even their problems. They don't only think about their things. Next, whenever you proceed with a deal, always like you have to go with like if like you're going to say that I'm going to give 100% and I'm going to deliver the 100%, so you have to say we are going to deliver you 80%, and you have to deliver almost 100%, and that's the actual trick which is followed by the Japanese. They always like commit under and they deliver over. And the last is you always have to keep smiling, and keep smiling it doesn't mean like you have to laugh and you have to smile in this way. So like these are the things that we could have in the leadership skills. Whereas the next session, as we are running out of time, so we'll see like there are many more things that I could speak on, but that is not important. Actually, the important is only two things: the vision and the humanity. And all these slides they explain about the same. Then after the self-mastery books, let me show you those. Yes. So the first book I have selected is Atomic Habits by James Clear. So he has written very good things. And this particular thing I will share you in the next session. So let's wind up our session here, and the self-mastery things possibly by next Sunday or today if we have time. So I'll let you know. So thank you all for joining, and you can just find the same thing in the recordings as well.